I've learned lots the last 3 years, be it my first term on the Hockey Alberta board. Prior to joining the board, I was really fortunate to spend close to 2 decades being surrounded by great community leaders in the sport of hockey at the grassroots level of Minor Hockey Association in South Calgary. Being a coach, volunteer on the board, and then 3 years of being the president. And then if after that, had 6 years on Hockey Calgary's board. So, I feel that coming back for a second term, I still have lots to offer. Definitely with my overall hockey knowledge, understanding of how players enter the systems, how it all rolls up. But I've also been able to in addition to my hockey knowledge, bring forth my professional experience in the corporate world with respect to corporate finance and accounting, government relations, working with many Indigenous communities across the country, as well as corporate governance. So, that all pulled together. I think we've made some really good strides towards our EDI initiatives and the committee. And certainly now really focusing on advocacy plans, focusing in on all of Hockey Alberta's key stakeholder groups. And all in all, that all comes into play as we, look at how we overall recover and, all contribute to the resurgence of hockey today and coming out of really the uncharted waters of the pandemic and also the fragmentation of Hockey Canada. So overall, it's coming back for a second term. I feel that contributing towards the board to continuing to grow the game, aligned with our vision for hockey for life, and certainly still contributing towards our strategic objectives will go a long way. And I really hope that when I do finish up as a board of director with Hockey Alberta, I've left it in a better place from when I joined it 3 years ago. The last few years, working on and working together on the Hockey Alberta board, has certainly been a bit unique, and we've faced a lot of challenges. And I think we all can stand proud as a province in certainly being viewed as a leader, as one of Hockey Canada's 13 members in really recovering from the pandemic and having a framework and a program that is very inclusive to ultimately looking at knocking down barriers to ensure that every child, every Albertan has an opportunity to try this sport we all love. So that's certainly one piece that we've been really were focused on the last few years is certainly ensuring that we try to get an understanding and roll out some good information to all of our members around what does inclusivity actually look like in the eyes of all stakeholders in the game, and ensuring that together, we grow the game so that we ensure that anyone experiencing hockey is enjoying it, is in a safe environment, and hopefully they choose hockey for life. The other piece that I was quite heavily involved with is the OAC, the Operations Committee that just funnels into Rob. And this is a unique working group that looks at some new trends or maybe some new initiatives that ultimately Rob and his team at Hockey Alberta are looking at. And it's a bit of a sounding board. So I find that being on part of this committee and with the 3 decades of hockey knowledge and experience that I had, with working on with minor hockey associations and Hockey Calgary, I'd like to think that it's contributed to overall our decisions that we make as a board, and then ultimately how we go about executing them, and then Rob taking him back to his team to really implement them across the province. And the last piece too is certainly the overall recovery out of the pandemic, and certainly we've worked hard to ensure that we're taking the right steps, and we've learned lots, and so that we're much better prepared if we're ever faced with any similar situations, to ultimately ensure that we have a model that's a sustainable model, And then ultimately, it really comes down to the player and making sure that the players are, we understand their needs and their concerns, the parents' concerns, but also we always have to take into consider the other stakeholders in the game as well, the officials, the volunteers, the coaches, everyone who ultimately makes up the game. The next 3 years will actually it'll be really interesting because our the landscape of hockey across our country has changed quite a bit coming out of the pandemic. There's a significant more competitive options with respect to options for playing hockey. So we definitely have to keep a close eye on things and being aware of the external environment. I think that can be viewed as an opportunity to eventually collaborate with others that are the leading hockey programs to ultimately learn from one another and see where we can perhaps maybe see find some common ground to continue to grow the game and ultimately ensure that all needs and interests of all Albertans are met with respect to the game of hockey. Also, too, we've certainly made some strides towards, EDI and inclusivity of really making sure that we're knocking down the barriers and ensuring that every Canadian or every Albertan has an opportunity to play hockey. But there's still more room. We know that we have to continue to educate all key stakeholders and ensuring that we're kind of all rowing in the same direction to ensure that we continue to grow a game, but growing in a healthy way to ensure that we're always taking the player into first and foremost into consideration. The last piece that what we all really strive to do is ensuring that we understand that the child's experience when they first play the sport, ensure to hopefully see them return each year, and that what that takes is all of us striving towards an environment that is safe, where the child can enjoy ultimately their playing years. But also too, it's important that officials play a big, without officials, we don't have the game of hockey. And to ensure that we're supporting and ensuring that we meet their needs and ultimately supporting coaches and providing the resources for coaches and administrators and overall getting out there and thanking all the great volunteers that really make our sport a fantastic and a great sport across the province each year.